Hi, this is John Young with this Jockey News. Today I'm going to be talking to you more about the American DJ Quad Scan LED. I've talked about this light in a few videos already, one of which showed the different distances from a wall and how the patterns and such went up on the wall. One of the things I've been talking about and I finally can do is hook this up to a DMX controller. So I'm going to go through a few things with the DMX controller and show you how that controller can give you a different light show than what you've seen on my past videos. So let's just jump right into this. So first, before we hook up the DMX controller, I wanted to show you what the pattern kind of looks like a little bit on my screen, my black curtain here, before we actually hook up. You'll notice that the images are just a little bit wider than the unit. I'm very close. You're only a couple of feet away. So that gives you an idea. When this is using the UC3 controller or on a standalone like this, you're going to get most of your images are going to be focused right in this area, which of course if this is shining towards a distant ceiling or distant wall, it gives you a nice little pattern. Most of the events that I do, I don't have that kind of a distance, so I need to see if I can make it go a little wider. DMX controller. Let's take a look. Alright, we're hooked up to the DMX controller right now. On the Quad Scan LED, there are three options. You can have it as a DMX, well, you can set the channels, of course, wherever you need it to be. I'm going to be using an Elation 192 controller, just a simple DMX controller. It doesn't have the full capabilities of what this light can use, because this can be set to 28 channels, and the controller board can't quite handle all 28 channels. But I want to show you, actually, I'm setting it in 28 channel mode, because you can control each individual mirror. Each mirror and light will take 7 channels, 7 times 4 for your 28. And I want to show just one of those, which I can do with the 192, but realistically, if you were going to be using this out in the field, you'd probably want to be using one of the software options. There's a couple of really cool software options for running lights, and you'd want to use that for this. But for this purpose, we're using the 7 channels. We're setting it to 28. We're using the first 7 on just this particular light right here on this end, this quarter of it. Again, you can set it up for one DMX channel. You can set it up for 5, or you can set it up for 28, which again, we're at for 28. So I'm going to turn on, where are we? Right there we are, way over there. See that? I brought up the red, and that is channel 3. There is 4, which is our green, and slider 5 is the blue, and those are dimmers, so they can be taken up and down. What I want to show is, of course, again, remember before, the patterns that are built in kind of went from about here to here and up a little ways. Well, I have it over to the side, and I can control, and again, it's this mirror, and I'm shooting way over there. And I can keep going, actually, and I still have an image. I have an image where I am probably out at, maybe 175 degrees. I mean, it's literally to the side. And I can bring it back the other way. And it's shooting, can you see it? My hand is right here to the side of the unit, and it's hitting my hand right here. So we have that ability to control the left and right, and of course you have the up and down. If I take it up, I can take it up on the ceiling, and I still have the Gobo until about here, which is about, probably about a foot in front. So it's shooting up, I would say, at about probably about a 75 degree angle that way. And we can take it down, and it is as far as it can go to the bottom, which would give us an image about a foot out, shooting down at about, probably about a 45 degree angle approximately. I'm just kind of guessing with these things. The idea is, with the DMX controller though, I can program it now to cover a wider area, especially in a short throw situations like a wedding dance, where I would have this up on a stage and I want to basically be able to cover just this area in front of the dance floor, where this would be awesome with that. I can be able to cover that, do the things back and forth. One of the things I'd be really excited about with the DMX controller is I can do slow. All the built-in programs are pretty quick. So if you wanted to have kind of that slow effect with the panning back and forth, kind of that searchlight effect, you can do that with a DMX controller with this light. It would be a cool effect. Let's look at a couple more things. So each of the 4 lights has a little bit of an access port in front that has a little tray. And in the tray, there is the Gobo, There's a Gobo for each one. You can't change those unless you pull this little tray out and a couple of screws, and you can change the Gobo. And then it has that little diffuser that takes the light and shines it up on the mirror. I actually just pulled one of the Gobos out to show you. This is one of the Gobos. This is the one that's about the size of a nickel. They're all about the size of a nickel. But that is in that little tray. What I want to show you is, ta-da! Without Gobo, we have our circle. With Gobo, we've got our little square Gobo going on right there. They're both at 100%, meaning the red, green, and blue LEDs are 100% up on our wall. I want to show you one more thing. I'm actually going to pull the tray out of this one, so that little diffuser line is going to be pulled out. And there is, if you can see it, is the green, red, and blue LEDs showing up on the curtain there. So the quad scan LED, I think for a wedding DJ who has the time to work with DMX and program this and to be able to get the lights so it's going wider and be able to have some slow work with it and some fast work or fast movements with it, I think this would be a fabulous light. For someone who needs to beam light onto a darkened dance floor and you won't need to do it from about 40 feet out and back in with the width, I think this is a fabulous light for that. If you're going to a high school dance and you're trying to light up 2 gymnasiums with this, not going to work. It'll give you some cool effect if it's hanging on trussing, say if you have 15-foot, 20-foot trussing and you're shining it towards the floor, and again in program so you can do the wide angles and different things. I think it's a fabulous light for that. If you're wanting to just buy it, hook it up to the UC3 and want to have a fabulous light show that will be a wow factor, I don't think you're going to be happy with this particular light, because while it's cool, this light is at its best when you've programmed it and you can utilize that wider angle. Because again, when we first started, that light did not go that far over and it did not go behind me, but now it can because of course of using the DMX controller. So if you're into DMX, I think this would be a fabulous light for the wedding DJ. You can check it out. The links are down below. This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News with the American DJ Quad Scan LED. One last quick thought. Took the Gobos out of all 4 of them, went to 5-channel mode. In 5-channel mode, the first slider is your program. And of course we can choose a variety of different programs. But for a wedding person who's looking for something that would do that beam around the dance floor a little bit slower, could be an option.